The nonprofit organization One Heart Incorporated and Sacred Sounds Theater welcomes you all. Thank you for coming to our program, Peace Grows, Nurturing a Culture of Peace. Today we'll be hearing from a number of speakers who will briefly address peace and nonviolence and the realities in which we all desire to transform: war, poverty, and the climate crisis. Make sure you have a program of today's happenings. All the people and organizations who are supporting and or literally making this happen today are listed. There are more people than I have time to mention involved in this endeavor, and all are donating their time and talents for peace. Our musicians, choir, and actors will offer up their specialty, which is filled with the power of love and true inspiration, the kind that will motivate all of us to open our hearts and willingly commit to our own personal role in creating a culture of peace. Not in the future, but right here, right now, today. Today's program is like last year's, which was held in Sauk City, in that it was born out of the desire to collaborate with the nonviolence service organization Pace e Bene, which means peace and all good. Pace e Bene was founded by the Franciscan Friars of California in 1989. Its purpose is to mainstream peacemaking, to empower people of all walks, to engage in nonviolent efforts for the well-being of all. One of its programs is called Campaign Nonviolence. This program is a grassroots movement to mainstream active nonviolence using the vision of Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, and the teachings of Jesus, the peacemaker. Campaign Nonviolence has encouraged individuals and organizations to offer peace events like this in their own hometowns during the week of September 20th through 27th. As of today, there has been over 360 events held all over the country and world through Campaign Nonviolence. Baraboo is one of 8 happenings in the state of Wisconsin. These events are in honor of International Peace Day, formally acknowledged on September 21st, and to also take a public stand against all violence, which includes war, poverty, and the environment destruction. Campaign Nonviolence states that these 3 forms of violence are not separate realities. They are interrelated dimensions of the growing global crisis of violence and injustice. Making headway on any one of these monumental challenges requires making headway on all of them. Hence, the need for these historically separate movements to join forces in a long-term, comprehensive movement to alert, educate, win, and mobilize people power everywhere for change. The blue scarf that you see us wear that can be obtained at the table, information table, is a symbol of the global peace movement. It represents the blue sky that we all share and has become a global symbol for togetherness. In 2008, it was set in motion by a brave group of women in Afghanistan who were ready to be heard. These scarves are being worn around the world as a way for people to express their solidarity as global citizens for a better world. The blue scarf is a reminder that we are all in this together as we share our world and its resources, and that we are all responsible for caring for and protecting the earth. So peace grows, nurturing a culture of peace. You might wonder, what does it really mean to create a culture of peace? How does one do that? In the book written with a like title by Mary Little and Rosemary Lynch, culture is described as a constellation of values that a people hold in common that guide their choices and behaviors. So, a peace culture would be a set of values that promote peaceableness. These values would be internalized or claimed by a people. They would be reflected in lifestyles and beliefs and behaviors that promote peaceful relationships. They would be foundational for institutions that promote well-being, equality, stewardship, and a fair sharing in the fruits and treasures of the earth for all. This culture would promote a peaceable diversity. Peaceableness is not passive. It is a dynamic, involving a constant shaping and reshaping of understandings in a constantly changing world in order to sustain individual and common well-being. Ordinarily, a society creates institutions and supports activities based on its particular culture or set of values. All of this culture-creating activity involves interaction at every level: individuals, family, neighborhood and community, civic organizations, regional and global relationships. This means that a society's capacity for peace building with other societies depends on patterns of behavior, and this is developed at every level. This means that one's actions at home, school, work, interactions in stores and businesses, or sitting just with friends, all are opportunities for creating patterns for peace. Elise Boulding, a sociologist whose work is devoted to understanding cultures of peace, states that every society is typically structured with a combination of peaceable and warrior culture. So why is the peaceableness so hard to see? And the answer is, it is there, but not reported. It is overlooked. It has been invisible, unlike violence headlines in the mass media. But we are in the midst of this changing. There are so many movements growing everywhere. This is a global movement and a grassroots one as well. We all must seek to build peace, and there are many ways to develop a peaceableness in your own life as well. Participating in events that educate, inspire, and nurture peace for you and our society. There is a Buddhist concept that defines what is called spiritual warriorship. Buddhist teacher Pema Chodron says, to the degree that each of us is dedicated to wanting there to be peace in the world, then we have to take responsibility when our own hearts and minds harden and close. We have to be brave enough to soften what is rigid, to find the soft spot and stay with it. We have to have a kind of courage and take that responsibility. That's true spiritual warriorship. That's the true practice of peace. In our deepest heart, we long for peace. It is within our capacities to nurture this desire and to create actions that foster its growth, for not only ourselves, but for all of us. The question isn't whether we can, it's a matter of if we will. Archbishop Desmond Tutu says, do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. Be the change. So look around. We have come here together in recognition that peace does exist, or we hope that it does. Look into your heart. Does peace or has peace been experienced here? May today's event plant in your heart a greater desire for peace. Seeds grow and transform like an acorn into an oak tree. As today's program unfolds, touch into your heart of hearts and just notice if there isn't a little spark of something forming there. Breathe into it and allow it to grow. Nurture it. Keep it warm. And when it has matured, open your heart wide and allow it to be seen, heard, felt, and acted upon. One Heart receives its financial resources through donations. The table in the back has items for exchange for a money donation, and there's someone who's going to be walking around with a rather bright orange bucket for donations. These donations will be used to pay for this year's event or for next year's peace event and or other activities and programs that One Heart will offer. We are in gratitude for your generosity, and certainly if you're interested in knowing more about One Heart and would like to become involved with our organization, please let someone at the information table know and we'll get your information and offer you ours. So, with a breath, let's take a slow, deep breath just for a moment, consciously breathing in and out of your body. And we offer to the world this prayer as we inhale, may all beings be free from suffering. And as we exhale, may all beings be at peace. Thank you.